How's it going, everybody? We have been discussing a lot about playoff scenarios. Regional 3 is coming up for North America. We've got Regional 2 actually going on right now for EU, which makes things a little bit more complicated, but that's later's problem. I figured it'd be a good idea to not just talk about the teams that are qualifying and the scenarios and stuff, but actually teams that are no longer in the running. Yes, believe it or not, there is actually a lot of teams right now that have either run out of contention, they have no capabilities to make the wild card or run in. And I figured we break that down. I think because it is such a big deal to talk about 11 months of competition coming down to one event, I figured it's really important to kind of give you guys the snowball effect of how this all pays off. So shout outs and massive thank you as always to dRekt. If you guys don't know dRekt, he is the official statistician for the RLCS. He is also a longtime community member. He's actually got a founder badge in this stream, which is pretty crazy. So dRekt's been around for a really long time. Happy to see his success, but his brain is massive putting all this stuff together. He's been providing some really cool stats and a lot of things. We are looking at his document. I don't know if this one's made public or not, but he has it broken down by region, and these vary quite a bit because of how many spots are being allocated. And I want to preface that. Obviously, in North America, there is a certain guaranteed amount of spots, and that expands based upon results. The same thing applies to SAM, OCE, MENA, SSA, etc., because they get less spots available. So the cutoffs are going to be a little bit different. You're going to see in some of these documents like NA and U, if it says like 7 EU at Worlds or 6 EU at Worlds or something like that, that is showcasing like if there's only X amount of teams from Europe at Worlds, these teams are out of the running. They can't be in it anymore. So hopefully that makes sense. We're going to jump over and we're going to do these step by step. I'm going to start with the easy ones that make sense, and then we'll go into some of the minor regions and try to break these down. So first things first, we're going to take a look at North America. I think this one's the most straightforward, so that's what we're going to start with. So the way that it works is anybody that does not have a thing next to them kind of tells you the detail that they're still in the running. So as we know, based upon Regional 2, we've already had 3 teams clinch the chance that they're going to the wild card, that they will be in conversation of trying to get into the point of, hey, this is what is going to happen. These guys are going to go and compete. So G2, Energy, and FaZe Clan, no matter what, will be 3 of the teams that have already qualified. The interesting thing, though, is that if NA gets certain amount of teams allocated to the World Championship, that's when we start to see teams immediately get eliminated. Because of the way that point allocation works, based upon your overall results, which is here, if you don't have enough points after a certain concept of like, are they going to get into things or not, as the results start to play out throughout the entire season, based upon how your region does determines how many wildcard spots you get. So with all that in mind, all mid, accelerate, and exit, if North America only has 7 teams able to be sent, the 4 or 5 guaranteed plus a couple extra the wild card, if 7 is the cutoff, then these teams will also be cut out. Exit, accelerate, and all mid. That is also teams that will be eliminated. So they are hoping that NA as a whole at the major and everything else performs very, very well to expand how many teams get in. And then we have a bunch of teams that are eliminated already. You've got Stromboli, Shopify Rebellion, Randoms, E United, Orgless, Pittsburgh Knights, Gentlemen, Friends, Nefarious, Ducks on Quack, what a name, and Sup. Already out of contention. Can't make it. Playing spoiler right now. So if you are a team like E United and still playing in open and closed qualifiers, you have a chance to bump some people out of the running. Some pretty important stuff there. We go over to Europe. Europe's actually wide open, and this is primarily because Regional 2 is still currently going on. This will fill in very quickly when we get results for this column. Obviously, all the teams that are automatically in the top 16 already get a guaranteed 80 points, but we do not know their situation or their scenario simply because of that fact. That's why we have so much more information for North America as compared with there only being technically 2 more events for North America with Regional 3 in the major. There's just too many unknowns. So that right now is pretty open book, but similar regards to this. If only 7 spots are available for the EU Championship, we have a lot of teams that get eliminated. Barcelona, Bricks.gg, Stormtroopers, Singularity, Vodafone Giants. If we then go to only 6 teams, you're then talking Wolves is out, PS Plus Competition, SK Gaming, and Wild, and then Bricks and Heroic. So again, like dRekt is actually saying in chat as he is here part of this conversation. Also, turns out my global chat update actually moved you guys away from the scene, which completely defeats. I gotta fix some stuff on my stream. We'll figure it out. But the ability for these teams to play the way that they are, like dRekt is saying, BDS with the point total that they have is going to put them in similar conversation towards this area after things close out, which will bump them if I can click the right tab. I don't like, these are in alphabetical order. I wish it was like NA, EU, SAM, OC, like major to minor, but that's just my brain. But it makes sense that they're in alphabetical. So yeah, there's going to be some teams that probably clinch this weekend, as dRekt is saying. Let's go next to South America, because they played very, very well. So the cool thing and the difficult thing, I would say, is even with us not having Regional 2 with South America yet, there's only so many spots available. Because they only send 2 to majors, the chances of them getting more spots is actually really, really tough. Like, the 2 SAM teams have to, like, way overperform. Like, both of them need to be top 3 in order to expand upon how many teams they get to send to that event with additional wildcard spots. And because of that, a lot of teams already eliminated. Not only because of constant name changing and swapping of teams and forfeiting points, but also because there is a pretty select dominant few over there. Furia is obviously the favorite. Team Secret's pretty dang good, but then you have some others like Crew that are ascending really, really well. Obviously with their recent result in Regional 1 taking 2nd place. Novus AV always potential. So there is some teams that have the ability to ascend up, but again, with point allocation and how many teams in wildcard, it does make it kind of tough. So if I slide this over, you can see a lot of teams eliminated, but you're going to see probably a bunch more of these probably fall off after Regional 2, if I'm being 100%. Major is going to be the final determining factor, but there is some teams that very good chance of wildcard, Furia, Secret, etc. But others that may mix it up. This result here, again, is going to be a pretty big determining factor for a lot of teams. So keep that in mind. Points here are all for the point allocation for this regional, and then some more fancy stuff that dRekt isn't showing. Just total amount of points that you can get in a split, etc. So things that he's calculating. If you click on some of these cells, I'm curious if you're doing this all automated or if it's physically done. I think dRekt's doing this manually. So that is for South America. If we take a look at OCE, the nice thing about OCE is this is kind of what SAM is going to be like after this weekend, because OCE goes with NA and SAM goes with EU for the time that they do regionals. Yeah, dRekt's doing this all manual. Guy's a monster. So with all of this said and done, because they've gone through 2 regionals, there is literally 5 teams in the running. 5. There is 5 teams for OCE that can still make the World Championship, which is insane. Everybody else is gone. Zen and the boys on Team Bliss, done. But you've got Direwolves, Kaga's Minions, Pioneers, Power, and Renegades. That is it. That is the only teams for OCE that still have a chance to make it. And the crazy thing is, look how close these rosters are at the top. Pioneers, Power, and Renegades are so incredibly close. And even more so if you look at just the regional right now for OCE. If you look at their rankings for just this split, like 1 point difference between top 2, and top 2 is what goes to the major. And then you miss out on a potential another 160 plus points because very last place is getting a minimum. So like you're talking the difference between these point totals is so small. It is pretty wild. So if you guys want a region to watch some of these minor regions, it's all coming down to the wire. This regional and regional 3 is going to be wild. So, and if you guys didn't watch the last regional and how close it was, please take the time to go and check out some of these regionals, because like Renegades, Pioneers, Power, all top 3. If they do it again, it may come down to the very last game, which is awesome. So yeah, stuff to pay attention to. Also, it's always fun watching John and Righteous J and stuff have some banter about their teams. So we've got OCE, SAM, EU, and NA covered. Let's take at APAC North and South. APAC, again, similar regards. They do only get 1 invite. So you're talking about, unless they have an outstanding performance, there's only 1 spot that they're getting in the wild card. So a lot of these teams do get eliminated unless Tokyo Verde or Detonator or whoever gets sent has an overwhelming performance. So keep that in mind. You've got Tokyo Verde, Detonator, Agilite, and Zephyrs that are still in the running. These teams as well, if you have a crazy performance. And you never know. Detonator managed to get 1 win. Tokyo Verde didn't get any. They're slowly... It's It's Kifers. You pronounce it Kifers. Why does it start with an X? Interesting. Language barriers. Who knows? I do not know. Fair enough, dRekt. Appreciate the clarification. So pretty crazy stuff there. But yeah, that is the way that it be. They need some overwhelming results in order to enable a second potential spot in the wild card. If we look at APAC South, similar regard. You're talking there's 2 teams. Gladiators and 1620 Knights. That's pretty much it. And the craziest part between these two is both these teams will play in a qualifier to see who makes the major. So like, not only are you only getting 1 spot for your region, but you are also only able to send 1 team, which is insane. So like, if these 4, right, make it into the double limb qualifier, there's so many implications. And then you also not only have to qualify there, but then you have to make the run over to the spring major and see if you can do something in London. So who knows, man? Who knows? For North and South for APAC, it's pretty grueling. Up next, we're gonna talk about then SSA. It's done. Now, the cool thing about SSA is they get 2 guaranteed wildcard spots. We have not seen SSA in any, right? In any major. Because of this region, we haven't gotten much information. There's a lot of conversation about the depth of the region and everything. They're hoping that SSA really proves themselves in the wild card. So Sub-Saharan Africa has 0 potential to go to the major, but because of that, they automatically get guaranteed 2 spots into the wild card. If you guys don't know about the World Championship, it's 2 weeks. The first week is wild card spots. Based upon who the top 8 are in the wild card spot, will then join the 8 that are automatically given a spot in the main event as well. So you have the chance as a team, if you perform very, very well and you have guaranteed points set up, you can automatically be guaranteed to be top 16 in the world. But you are going to see a bunch of teams in the wild card compete against each other in a Swiss stage, all that kind of stuff. And SSA, because they don't get into the major, have 2 guaranteed spots in that wild card bout. I will do video breakdowns in the future of how that all works. That is a whole different story. So all those things going on. It has already been clinched by Orlando Pirates. They will be there. They have won everything but 1 tournament in Winter Regional where they took 2nd. They've been almost as dominant as the Falcons. So because of that, they've already clinched a spot. There's 1 more spot up for grabs. It is between 4 teams: Bravado, ATK, AIPX, and DMNK. Everybody else is out of the running. So you got 4 teams fighting for 1 spot. Pretty exciting stuff for SSA. And then last but not least, we got MENA. Right now, Falcons, of course, they've qualified. They've won everything. Like, they've done it. They have done nothing but it. In all of MENA, Falcons has lost 2 series. Yeah, they're pretty good. Falcons, former Sandrock Gaming, pretty dang good. So congratulations to them doing what they did. You've also got some other teams of Loche, new pickup by them. 01 is also a different name with ultimates and everything. You've got Kings. You've also got Sights. Last but not least, you've also got 966. So because that is similar to SSA, you also have 5 teams fighting for 1 spot. Similar regard, that is who is in the conversation, but a lot of teams out of the running. This sheet currently is not public. This is from dRekt. I don't know if he wants me sharing it. I am not going to. It is, again, up to him. So why is Cola not eliminated? Because of how well they've done in spring. Because Cola has done so well in spring, they've got a 2nd place and a 3rd place result. If they do really, really well here, there is potential if Falcons plays like booty. Like, say Falcons completely bottoms out, they could take the qualifier for the major. Like, Falcons hasn't clinched major contention yet. So you're talking 802 points versus 650. And if they perform well, Cola performs well again, and somehow Falcons doesn't win, which they've done every single time. But if they don't, and they get knocked out in like 8th, 6th or something, there is a chance that if Cola takes it, they could go instead, which would be monumental. And the cool thing about some of these minor regions, it's really, really stressful for them, but the cool thing about the minor regions like MENA, like OCE, like SAM, because they only have so many spots to get in, like OCE and SAM only have 2 spots that go to the major. The point requirement that they need to guarantee a spot is so much higher than it is. Like the margin of error when you have 5 spots opens up a lot. So again, Cole is still in the running because they've performed very, very well right now. So congratulations to them. But yeah, they're gonna, if Falcons gets knocked out early, it opens up some things and should be very exciting. So we'll have to pay attention to that. That is what I have for all the regions. That is what I have for everything going on. Those are the teams that are eliminated, and more importantly, the teams that have a chance to still go to the wild card / World Championship bid. So pretty crazy stuff across the board. I will do my best to update you guys on this as well in the future. dRekt has given the AOK, so there will be a link to this in the video description down below if you would like to pay attention to this. Understand it is only read only. You cannot edit it or mess with it unless you make your own copy. So I will link this both in the description. I'll also give it to you guys in chat here in just a bit. But if you guys want to follow along with this, I will also make updated videos as we get closer and closer to the World Championship. Expect me to probably do another one of these, most likely either after Regional 3 or probably after the Major, I would say. Probably after the Major is a good way, or before the Major, I would say. Probably before the Majors, you guys can know what's going on with our 16 teams going. So pretty crazy stuff across the board. Awesome stuff from dRekt as always. There is a reason why he was brought on, and I'm super happy for him. So enough gushing about him. Absolutely love all this kind of stuff and seeing things come down to the wire. This is why we do it. We are waiting to see who our World Championship people are going to be and see who is truly the best in the world. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoy the content, as always, give it a thumbs up. If you've made it this far, I assume you guys like it, and I'd appreciate it if you did. Also, consider hitting subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.